Hello and welcome to my video guide on how to build the ship that is seen in the thumbnail, the Blood Monkey. So I was looking for a ship that was reminiscent of a Star Wars-esque theme. That's where the pod racer style has come from, with the long wings, like the catamaran sort of style. Cockpit in the middle of the ship. This ship is very large, so it's pretty much on the boundary of the width and the length that you're allowed. Obviously height wise it's pretty much all in one layer, and I just really enjoy the actual layout of the inside of this ship as well. That's one of the bonuses. So for this I have got piloting rank 4, which is maxed out, and I have also got starship design at rank 3. So there is some class C components, and the entire build cost me about 270,000 credits, but that was disassembling the Razor Leaf Mantis ship as a base. Apparently there are some perks to doing so. When you appear in certain star systems, people will still say it's a Mantis ship and flee from you. So at the minute I'm only level 19. As I said, it's pretty early on ship build, but let's take a look. Let's go to a star yard. But before we go to a star yard, I will just go for a quick look in photo mode so I can actually show you the ship. So as you can see at the back, we've got two rather large engines. There's an engine on either side. It's a pretty symmetrical build, barring the reactor. This is a class C reactor, so they're slightly larger than normal. We have our grav drive on the left. Underneath the back of the wings in the centre we have fuel tanks. That's symmetrical on both sides. So we have the loading bay at the back. If we take a look from underneath the ship, underneath we have shielded cargo and regular cargo. So the shielded cargo is on either side, and the regular cargo is just in front of it. For the shielded cargo we also do have these. Now these can be unlocked when you're part of the Crimson Fleet from the shop, and it basically reduces the chance of your shielded cargo being scanned by 50%, so they're quite handy to have. I'm not sure if this bonus actually stacks. I've got two of these. It lets you have multiple, but it was fairly cheap. They're about 12,000 each, so it was worth putting them on even if it doesn't. So this has got two missiles, and I think we have 6 of these auto projector guns located on the ship. Yep, there's the inside ones, and we have EMP on the inside too, so we can actually disable ships. Now the way I like to run is we're either doing damage with the guns and the missiles, or we have the EMP. So at the minute I don't have any reactors that output more than 20 at class C, but as you rank up, or if you hit level 57, you'll have a class C reactor that can supply 40, and then you can power the engine, the shields and the weapons very easily. So going inside the ship, we have the armory. So at the front of the ship we have an armory which doesn't really have any weapons in it yet, and this ship's a fairly recent build, so I haven't had a chance to actually do anything inside. Going from the armory we go into the engineering bay. So the engineering bay is pretty useless, but I just enjoy the look of it, to be fair. At the back of the engineering bay we just have a little storeroom which leads through into the main part of the ship. So this is basically a mess hall, which is a great place to for your crew to hang out. I like the aesthetics of this. So there's the hatch to dock. So as soon as you dock, you're straight down into the centre of the ship, which is a mess hall. From there you can go down to the loading bay. So straight down the stairs into the loading bay. Nice little window to look out onto your ship. I've got plenty of windows in this build because I just enjoy the aesthetics of it. So straight from the hatch or from the loading bay, as you can see, we can just go straight into the cockpit, which is, in my opinion, the best cockpit you can buy. It's very open, very spacious, and there's me piloting the spaceship. So if we continue back out through the other side of the mess hall, we go through this side, more windows, continue through, and it's pretty mirrored. So we have another storeroom on this side of the ship, and then we have, I think it's the living quarters, so we can have a game of darts. And at the front we have the infirmary, which again you can replace these modules for anything you want. I don't tend to do anything in my ship, I've got it all in my house, so I just have it aesthetically pleasing. So we'll just head over to a star yard and I will show you how to build it. So a star yard that I like to head off to is usually on the Alpha Centauri. I'm not sure if you've seen, there is actually a glitch where you can get the money back that you've spent in this star yard. So if you go to Jemison and then head over to the starport, just when I get out of the ship, you'll see the sheer size of this thing as well. It's pretty deceiving when you're in space, but if I spin around, it's an absolute beast of a ship. So as I said, I like windows. There's windows everywhere. Big EMP guns, auto projectors, and then we've got a lot of cowling just for the aesthetical pleasing look, which does add the weight. I just added these on the side for a more of an aggressive styling. So if you like the ship anyway, just drop me a comment on your thoughts and we'll get into how to build this now.
Got anything you need to offload? Trade authority is always buying. Sure, how about it?
So this is a ship. So at the minute it is a Class C ship. It's got 20 reactor power, which is fairly weak. That's the one downside to the ship. I need to really upgrade that, but I don't think I've actually unlocked any at level 19 beyond this. The crew capacity is 9, which is more than you'll ever need. I think you can have up to a maximum of 8 anyway. The shield is 2030, and I have literally only unlocked the first shield upgrade, which is an extra 10% boost. So as standard, you know, it's pretty good. The jump is 16 light years. I mean, a lot of people say I don't want my ship less than 30 light years, but you can still travel 60 light years. It just does it over 4 or 5 jumps, so it makes absolutely no difference in my opinion. It's got plenty of fuel, and 280 should get you most places where you want to go. And even if you do need to jump to a separate system, it'll take an extra 30 seconds, so I won't worry about it. So 883 hull and 2,442 cargo with 480 shielded cargo. So if you've got any contraband, it's good to carry on there. And as I said earlier on, we do have the little pirate frequency jammers that assist in your ability to not have your contraband found on your ship. So as I said, this was about 270k, but I did dismantle the Razorleaf Mantis ship to build this. So what I will do is spend a minute just separating the ship off, just to show you in clarity, and then we'll come back to the build. Okay, so as you can see, we have finally split the ship down into 3 layers. So we have a bottom layer, a middle layer, and a top layer. And if I do it from this angle, you can kind of get a feel of which layer everything is on. So the bottom layer is just the landing gears and the landing bay. Engines are attached to the back of that. The middle layer is where all the habs are located, and the top layer is pretty much just the cosmetical additions. So we'll start off on the bottom layer and work our way up. So if you are building this alongside, it'll make it a bit easier for you. Some of this was from the Demios Star Yard. I think the main bit would be the cockpit. And I really just wanted this cockpit just because its sheer size and the windows are fantastic. It fits this build perfectly. I think most of the rest of the build was from Stroud Eklund, which is another Starship system. So you'll see Stroud Eklund on the brand on the left. So we'll start off on the left hand side of this build, and we have the Stroud Cap A. Now this is just a cosmetic piece found in structural. And then we have the Aculander 11 landing gears, which we have for the length of the ship. And then at the back we have another Stroud Cap A, which is just rotated to be the opposite to the front one. So altogether we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 landing bays. That's the length of the ship that we've been looking at. You can shorten it if you want to have less habs on top and save some weight. I just really wanted a monster looking ship. So the left side we have the same thing, just mirrored. So the Stroud Cap A, and then the landing gears, and then the Stroud Cap A again. So that's most of the bottom layer. The only other part would be the Stroud storeroom, which sits below the main mess hall. So we have the storeroom, then we have this ship bed 200 landing bay, and as I said, I dismantled the Razor Leaf Mantis ship, and that was the landing bay that came from that. I just like the way it's pretty symmetrical with the build. You can access it from the back of the ship, and it just keeps it nice and easy. And it's quite light as well, it's only 1 mass. So attached to the landing bay we have the shielded cargo. Now this is optional. This is part of the Crimson Fleet mission quest, so once you start that in your first visit, the key, the vendor, you can buy this straight away. And like I say, I have Starship Design rank 3 and Piloting rank 4, but this only requires Starship Design rank 1, and I'm only level 19, so you know you pretty much got a good chance of being able to buy this straight off the bat. To the front we have the Galleon S201 cargo hold, which hold a whopping 720 cargo. So this is just mirrored on each side. So we have the 2 shielded cargo and the 2 Galleon S201, and we do have a little porthole on the front, just as I said before, windows look fantastic. So we have 2 engines at the back, which are the Supernova 2000s, just because the engine thrust on these things is ridiculous, 17,670. They are Class C, so you do need a Class C reactor, which we have the SF10 sheared flow. As I said, this is the weakest part of this ship build for me, because I haven't unlocked another Class C that generates more power than 20 yet. So moving on to the middle of the ship, the core of the ship is the Stroud mess hall. So we can have 3 passengers, and you know it's a pretty chunky piece of kit. I just like the way it all ties the ships together. It's a place where everyone goes to eat, and you can branch out onto the sides of the ship. So on top of this, we do have the Vanguard Bulwark shield generator. If you've got a better one, fair enough. For my level, this is the best one I can get. 1450 shield. And if you've upgraded any of your shield perks, skills, that'll boost that as well. We have the Slim Docker 100 DP on top from Demios. Again, it just looks quite aggressive. And we have 4 portholes on the top. So we do have the portholes on the front as well, just because this build is full of windows. And we have the DS30.1 Ares bridge, which is a cockpit, just because it's got so many windows on the build, and the shape of it just fits the build nicely. So still middle of the ship, we have the EM suppressors on either side. This is just mirrored again, and we have the braking engine at the front, which is just a structural cosmetic component, and it adds 5 mass, but it's definitely worth it for the looks. And then we have a control station 2x1, and we have the all-in-one berth 3x1, which also gives 2 passenger slots. At the back we have a storeroom. So these hubs can be changed out for anything you want, but this just suits me perfectly. And beyond that we have the Stroud Cap B, which is again another cosmetic component, followed by the 400G HE3 fuel tank, which supplies plenty of fuel. We've got 2 of these in this build. This engine on the right, Ares DT60, that was part of the Razor Leaf Mantis ship, so when I dismantled that I kept these engines. They've got a pretty aggressive look for the side of the ship, so I thought it fit the build nicely. Again, we've got 4 windows on the interior, and we are using Horizon weapon mount just to give these more of an aggressive styling. So on the outside we do have these Demios wing A's, which are just rotated. So we've got starboard, aft and starboard, and obviously you just want to flip them for the opposite side of the ship. We have the ATL, I'm not going to try and say it, Atlatl 270C missile launcher underneath, and we have the Vanguard Obliterators projectors on top. So that is just the midsection really. This is Nova Radiator, that's just another cosmetic piece as well, just for the aggressive styling. So on the opposite side of the ship, for the midsection, we do have the grav drive, which is just the R3000 Alpha, just for the aggressive styling of it. You can upgrade it with a better one. I find the 23 grav jump thrust is enough for me. So connecting to the mess hall on both sides, we have the Stroud companionways, which are literally just a connecting module. They don't do anything but the job. Again, another radiator on top of this. Fuel tanks at the back. Stroud cap B on the port side. The other area is DT60 engine, and then we've got a storeroom again at the back. Moving on to the engineering bay, which is a 3x1. And then into the armory, which is a 2x1, finished with another braking engine. Again, mirrored on this side, we have the Deimos wing A, port aft, and the port forward. So it's a pretty simple build, really. It's very easy to do. It's all mirrored, symmetrical. So just copy one side, and you'll be good to go. Finally, for the top layer, we've literally just got the Stroud cap here at the front. Moving on to the cowling. So we've got two cowlings, as you can see, they weigh 10 mass, just for a structural component, but it's definitely worth the weight. And we've got the Stroud cap here flipped towards the back. So to the top layer, there's not really a lot to it. We do have a Horizon weapon mount, followed by two Vanguard Obliterators auto projectors on both sides. And that is the build. Very easy, so we're just going to snap this all together. So yeah, that is the build, and we'll take it in space and give it a bit of a test fight, show you what kind of firepower it's got. Look at the size of that reactor. So as you can see, straight in from the landing bay, we've got a lovely window, so you can see what's going on outside the ship. And we're just going to climb up. Straight up into the mess hall, which is the core of the ship. So we've got the hatch for docking access right there. And then we can go through the mess hall. See out these windows. Storeroom. Through to this. And look how clean the ship is. It's just easy to navigate. You can swap these habs out for anything you want, but it's just so simple. You've just basically got a connector, a mess hall, and then your habs on each side. So it's just very easy to navigate. And all these windows just really do make that little bit of difference to its aesthetics. So we're just going to go to the cockpit, we're going to take off, and we're going to see if we can find some ships to blow up. As I said, this could really benefit from a stronger Class C reactor. I haven't unlocked one yet, but if you have, then it'll complement this build very nicely. Oh, I mean, look at this thing. It's just a beast.
Lifting off now. Orbital pattern locks in.
Okay, so let's see who we've got. we're just flying around this planet at the minute. Jemina, whatever it's called. So we're just gonna find some ships to target. Let's. I'll probably get blown up here because there's tons of ships, but. I forgot to put some on missile. I'm a terrible pilot, by the way, and even though I'm a terrible pilot, the shields, even at 50% capacity, are just enough. This is really not doing the ship any justice. But those 6 Vanguard auto projectors are just absolutely overpowered. As you can see, just with these projectors, the damage it does is insane. So if you can add some damage for missiles, you'd be a ship destroyer. And especially because the shields that I've got are only powered to about 60%. And these are level 38 ships, I'm level 19, and I've not really spent a load of skill points on my ship stuff. I think the only thing I've unlocked is the ballistics, to be fair. As you can see, I've blown a few ships up, and that's with my terrible piloting, so if you're actually any good at piloting, you'll really benefit. Like I say, if you get a Class C reactor, you'll be laughing. Yeah, look at that. I'm one of the worst pilots you'll ever find. But even with that, look at the damage. Boom. The missiles are really overpowered. Fighting each other. Brilliant. Look how easy it's just wiping these ships out. And this is without full power. Imagine this thing with a Class C reactor with 40 available power. It'd just be an absolute monster. So we just wiped out all the ships outside Gemison. Jemison. Easy as that, and I was with my terrible piloting skills. And I think we pissed someone off. So a good challenge for this will be the UC Vigilance, which is an absolute monster of a ship, level 100. We'll give it a go. See how much damage it does. Wow, this may have been a bad idea. It's not doing any damage whatsoever. Yeah, I'm dead. Anyway, as you can see, it was pretty good against the lower tier ships, but you're not going to be taking out the Vigilance on your own. So yeah, that's it. Guide done. If you've got any feedback, let me know in the comments below, and if you like the ship build, again, just drop me a comment. Let me know what alterations you've made in your build, and hope it's been helpful.